The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Thank you, Tally Olson. We are back. The Mets in the zone. I'm Ralph Tyko, the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network, and the three Met mavens are here. The Rose brothers. Start with you, Marty. How are you?
I'm just fine, Ralph. Thank you.
Good. And Bernie, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you very much.
And although you're not a brother, you're my bro. Robert Cole, how are you?
Very good, Ralph. Thank you.
Good. Is it an adjustment for you guys not having baseball 24/7?
Yeah, it's a little different.
It is.
It really is. Almost have to find something. Looking for a basketball game, for instance. And none
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. By the way, Sam Stiff, the former New York Knick, has become not a regular, but has been on the network quite a few times. He's a big baseball fan, was as a kid, and he's a very interesting guy. So if you want to befriend him, it would be nice for all of you. We're not against a little hoop talk every now and again, if not on this show, on the network. And there you go. So may I ask you, what are your hopes individually for the second half of the season? Marty, start with you.
Well, I hope that they just keep doing what they're doing, and if DeGrom comes back, fine. That will certainly help. They have like nine games coming up with Atlanta in August, so that's gonna tell a lot. But I'm pleased with how things are going, and everybody seems to be getting timely hits. Although the last week or so, the production's been a little low, but I think they've been still in first place. They're doing fine.
Good. Bernie, you're number two.
Right. Well, they have to keep doing what they've been doing. Exactly right. It's like you got 9 games with them, so you just have to take it to them. You got to get a little bit of a lead. They had some light schedules where they were winning a lot, and it got a little bit tougher. It got a little tougher, but that means most of the tough is gone, except for the Braves. I mean, they're going to open up with San Diego, it looks like. So right now, San Diego is playing terribly. So that's actually a good thing. So maybe,
right.
And they can help my former team out as well. But
your former team, indeed. I'll see that when I believe it, and I'll be an older man before I see that.
Exactly.
Aren't you guys glad that we played Atlanta so well in those 3 games? Doesn't that kind of make you feel better that we're going to be able to play up to the competition?
Sure. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll let Robert Cole elaborate on that.
Sure.
Oh, for sure. And don't forget that Marte didn't even play in that series.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely not. Yeah. How seriously is he hurt? He couldn't play in the All-Star game either.
Oh, he has a groin tightness, and they just want to, take some precautions with him. He played before the All-Star game, and he opted not to play last night. They gave him the choice, and I thought it was a smart choice.
Okay. Did you find it interesting that Marte kind of lobbied for Soto, and Alonso came out with a statement that he'd like to see O'Hanty as a New York Met, as would I. What do you guys think about that, starting with Marty?
Who did you say, Ralph?
Alonso lobbied the pitcher infielder with the
Otani.
Otani.
It's going to be great.
No chance of that happening. I personally, I doubt. How can Washington trade Soto within the division? I don't see that. I mean, no matter what they offer. I mean, obviously, every team in both leagues is going to offer something. But, if I'm in Washington, I'm not trading him within the division. I'm not.
And not only that, why would the Mets or the Braves give 3 or 4 of their best prospects to somebody in the division?
Absolutely profound, Bernie. You say, why trade Soto in the division? How about McNeil added to Alvarez, a bunch of guys that you don't want to necessarily give up. But good point. Good point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know if they're going to trade him by the deadline or not. I guess they'd be crazy not to. But I mean, I don't want to see the Dodgers get him. They're going to want too much. I mean, how much you want to give away? And I'm not 100% sure that I know he's had some great seasons, and I know the year they won it all, he played well. But I've watched him a couple of times, and I don't know. I'm not giving up the farm for him, personally.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Besides what you have to pay him, what does that do to one's payroll? All
Exactly.
these guys you're talking about giving up haven't been paid anything yet. So you're adding pure bucks.
He turned down $440 million. So what does he want? I mean, you saw what Mookie got and Harper and some of these other guys. He's worth $100 to $150 million more than those guys? I don't think so.
He's only 23.
Well, he's only 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget. Okay, this was a 15-year.
Yes, it was. Right.
And when you divide the money out, it's not nearly as much as what people are saying. Yes, it's a lot of money, but we would only rank him like 20th per yearly salary.
Is that right? I mean, because
Yes.
Mookie got 12 years, and it was only something like 320 or something. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but But anyway,
don't forget, and Mookie is older.
He'll be 39 at the end of the contract. So that's what people complained about with Albert Pujols. And
right.
You know what? The Angels never won a World Series with Albert.
No.
But you have to remember too. Okay, you're talking mostly prospects. Okay, and
mostly,
at this point, and at this point, we don't know what those prospects are going to be. I mentioned on the website, that I would be very interested in how the Mets drafted these last 3 days, and they drafted. If you notice, a catcher who will be ready major league ready in about a year to a year and a half. Okay, he played 2 years in college. He's the highest rated hitter. Okay, he's already a polished catcher, which Alvarez isn't. Okay, so in case they have to move Alvarez, they have somebody to take his place.
Well, that's a great move for them because that's a need for them.
Right, and then their second pick was a young shortstop who's one of the highest rated guys coming out of high school. And again, he fills a need if you trade somebody. So I think they were making their draft picks just in case they do make that trade. They have guys already in the pipeline to take these guys' places. And you have to take that into consideration. Already those two guys, the first two draft picks, are already ranked within the top 10 prospects in the entire system. And they haven't even played yet.
Right.
That's nice.
Marty, you were convinced in your tone of voice that there's no chance in hell the Mets will ever get Otante, whatever the hell his name is. We'll just call him Dougie Flynn to make it easier. And Dougie Flynn was an all-star in 1980, by the way. I just came across that. But you don't think that the Angels, given the fact that they haven't ever won, would consider not only trading Trout or but him as well?
Well, I mean, I'm not. I don't know, man. Why would you trade your two best players?
Well, because you're not winning with them anyway.
Well, you don't know. They're in first place right now. I mean, Ohtani is a hell of a player, but how much you want to give up for him?
Who's in first place right now?
The Mets.
No, I was talking about the Angels. Right.
We're talking about the Angels.
Oh, the Angels. Oh, I lost you there. All right.
Well, I lost you guys in the memo.
Trade him.
I lost you guys in the memo earlier in the week, and when Alvarez was brought up to Syracuse, I thought he was brought up to the Mets, and they were blowing a year on his deal.
Did you see him standing next to Vientos? And there was a picture of the two of them.
Yes.
Alvarez.
Yes.
And what is he, about 5'6"? He's a little guy.
Vientos is a big guy. I think 6'3".
Oh well, Alvarez is like very short. I mean, I saw him in the Futures game. He looked short. I don't know.
Well, he's your prototypical catcher. Short and squat.
I suppose.
I mean, after the All-Star game, they were interviewing Stanton, and he looked like a giant compared to the people he was talking to. How big is he? I thought Judge was the big guy. Wow.
Yeah.
He just looked like huge.
Stanton's 6'7" or 6'8".
Oh, he is. All right.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But I'm looking at the schedule, right? And the Mets, yes, they've got 9 games with the Braves coming up, but in between those games, they've got like the Nationals and the Reds. They do have 6 games with the Phillies stuck in there and 4 games with the Yankees, but they've got 4 with the Rockies. They've got the Pirates coming up, and they do have like 6 or 7 with the Marlins and the Brewers, but then they got the A's. So they're winnable games, and the Marlins are tough in the division, but the Mets just took 3 out of 4 from them. The Marlins are decent, but they're not up to the task. In between all of these, they've got more games against sub 500 teams than they do against over. They got 3 with the Cubs, backed up with 4 with the Pirates. Then they got 3 with Milwaukee, and then 3 with Oakland. That's 12 games right there or 10 games right there that they should win 7 of 10. And that's what you have to do. If they play the Braves even 500, they'll still be in first place, going into September or at the end of the whole deal. This is doable for them, in my opinion.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is.
But it makes an incredible amount of difference winning the division than getting in as a wild card.
Oh, especially if you could be top 2 right now with the new buys for the top 2.
Right.
That would be the move. If they could get the bye along with the Dodgers, then you skip that 2 out of 3, and you go right into the division, and the other teams have already used their pitchers. They're not starting with their ace. The advantage is there for them to go against the Dodgers in the NLCS.
I'm not saying it's wrong, and especially with all the teams and all the playoff races going. But doesn't this look suspiciously like the old NBA, where it just doesn't seem right that that there aren't pennant winners in each league, and they go to the World Series. Somehow, I mean, it's great for a lot more people, a lot more cities, but as the traditionalist, it just sucks a little bit. That's just a statement from an old guy, the oldest among us, and likely, hopefully, to remain that way for a while. I don't want to change that up.
Ralph, how would you feel if you were a fan and only one team, made it to the pennant, and your team was in 32nd place?
Very, very good. Would you be backing in if your team was in 32nd place? I don't know. I'm embittered by the process since the Marlins beat the Giants way back when. And
right.
That was a little bit of a shock right there. All of a sudden, the Giants are out of it. And
wild card teams have won the Super Bowl. How did you feel about that?
No, very good point. Very good point.
Especially when it was the Raiders. No, I don't think they were a wild card team when they won. But there have been teams that have done that, and so I kind of like it when you look at it that way, because what about when the Giants won 102 games and didn't even make the playoffs because the Braves won 104?
Oh, that was 1991 or something around there. 94.
And what about last year when the Giants won 107, the Dodgers won 106, and yet they had to play a one-game play-in, after winning 106 games. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it's the whole system that's been bastardized, not just in baseball, but in all sports, to the point where there are 32 teams in the NHL. And that's a mind
money
blow.
talks. Money talks. You know that. And we've gotten used to that. So I kind of like the way they got it set up this year. At least the wild card teams, it's 2 out of 3. So if you have one pitcher on the team that had the worst record who happens to be great and they win that game, they still have to win 2 more. Well, 1 more, but you still have a chance.
Bernie, you were diatribing, I don't know if that's the word, about the Mets have to play the Braves, but not only that, they have to play the Yankees. And all that time I was thinking, there's going to come a time, and I don't know if it's next year or the year after, when they'll have a totally balanced league, so that every team is playing the exact same teams, and in a way, that'll be good.
Are they doing? Is that the plan?
That's the plan.
I know every team is going to play every other team next year.
Right. But
I don't know about how many games.
Really? So
I don't know about how many games, but they're going to be much less interdivision
right,
matchups.
That's true. Has to be.
Well,
yeah.
if that's what they're going to do, then just the top 6 teams, or however many they want to make the playoffs, should make it. Because a team that finished in second place with 106 wins should certainly have like the second seed, don't you think? I mean, why should they not have home field advantage against a team that won 88 games? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But I get the whole divisional and first place thing, but still, it just doesn't seem right either. So maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to even it out. But if you recall, there was a while there. Wasn't there a while there? Was it in was it hockey? One of the sports, they just took the top 8 teams, and that was it from each conference. And they didn't care about the divisions. I don't know if that's good or not. What do you think, guys?
Well, what about reseeding along the way?
That's a good idea. I like that. But they've stayed away from that.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know, but I do know this, that the Grom situation really disturbed me last week. He was supposed to come back from a workout, didn't come back, and it wouldn't disturb me as much as if his decision to leave at the end of the year hasn't already been made. What do you get?
Who cares? The guy's always hurt, and he's going to always be hurt. Seriously.
Wow.
I wouldn't offer him anything. How could you? How could you?
You got a point.
Yeah.
I mean, let him see what he could get. Who's going to give him anything? I wouldn't give him more than 1 year, if that.
Yeah. Hey, Marty, I liked your expression. Somebody on Facebook in one of the baseball sites was talking about how Alonso didn't make the batter's stand.
Yeah, because they were talking to some guy on the field with the stupid mics that they were mic'd up, and they didn't even mention that game was horrible last night. You know, the guy was saying that, he's a big Met fan on another Facebook page, and he was saying they didn't even mention Alonso getting into the game, and because they were talking to one of the players on the field with the microphones. I mean, to me, that whole thing is stupid. I mean, I don't like the game. I don't like the game anymore anyway. I said that a number of times, that ever since free agency and interleague play, the All-Star game's not the same. Everybody's a brother. They're smiling. They're hugging. What the hell, man? Give me Pete Rose. Give me that.
Well, if you dug up Ray Fosse, he may not agree with that.
Well, I know.
What do you think Bud Harrelson thinks about that?
Yeah, play the damn game the way it should. It's just not the same. It's just not the same since
I agree.
free agency and interleague play. The leagues were distinct. Guys played their whole careers in one league.
And they never played the other guys unless they were in the World Series.
Yeah, right. So it's completely different.
And there were times the All-Star team game meant a lot to the players, who won and who lost.
Yeah, back then, yeah, absolutely.
And then you could watch it, and there was some competition, and guys would play 7, 8 innings, if not 9, and minimum a pitcher would pitch would be 3.
But you know what? Think about this for 1 second. If you go back far enough, and unfortunately or fortunately, we do, these guys, the money from the World Series and even the All-Star game meant something. And now, these guys are loaded. They're loaded. Even rookies that just come in, they're making, what, $750,000, $800,000. I mean, and so you get a couple of hits, then you're already making $1.5 million a year, and you're only 22 years old. And 5 years later, you're making $12 million a year. It's a whole different ball game.
Hey, if you make the major leagues, you're on their medical plan for life.
Oh, that too, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Then you don't have to run for Congress.
Yeah. Well, if
I
you
didn't
ran
know
for
that.
Congress, you would guarantee becoming a millionaire within 2 years. So that's the big trade-off. Well,
we don't
we
want to
haven't
get into
heard
that.
anything from you in a while. I want to hear your voice.
Who? Me?
Robert, yeah.
Hey, you guys are rolling. I let you roll.
I know you did, but if you're looking for me to roll, there's a limit on rolling. I'll roll the papers. I'll read the papers, but there's a limit on it, Robert. Take over for a while.
No, it's baseball has changed, and we're never going to see what we grew up with, and it's, as I've told people, when they complain about it, I'll say, well, you have 2 choices. Don't watch anymore, or watch, and this is the way it's going to be. I said online, I didn't watch one pitch last night. I don't watch All-Star games anymore. To me, All-Star games are like having 2 boxers putting on an exhibition, and instead of wearing boxing gloves, they're wearing pillows. That's what this is. The baseball All-Star game isn't even for the fans anymore. It's for the players. It's for them to get together.
Absolutely.
McNeil's on the field with his baby and his wife. That's great for them, but it does absolutely nothing for me. So I could care less what happened last night. And, I know Marty replied to my question online that he was bored silly. And a lot of people said that, something about stupid looking uniforms, because Manfred doesn't like, the players wearing their regular uniforms for some reason. It's just some stupid stuff. So
the American League uniforms are pretty crappy. I haven't watched the All-Star game over the years for a long time. I ended up watching the second half of it last night, for whatever reason. But, it's not that big of a deal for the fans. You are 100% correct.
Yeah, probably the fans were more into the home run derby, than the All-Star game. The All-Star game used to be as we said, a big deal. You got to see players. We were fortunate because we were in New York, so we got to see all the teams come into New York. But places, around the country, they didn't get that. If you lived in Texas, the only time you get to see everybody is during the All-Star game. And, it was a big deal. It's just not the same anymore.
Yeah.
That's true.
Your hopes again for the second half, I would say we all believe you got to stay healthy. That wasn't mentioned. And I think we will. For one reason or another, they don't have as much nagging injuries this year. I don't know if it's the training staff, the little day-to-day things.
Hold on a second, Ralph. Hold on. I got to find a piece of wood to knock. Hold on.
Yeah. Well,
McCann's
this is
been
America. There's no wood, just Formica.
Well, McCann's been out almost the whole season, basically. You know?
Yes.
McCann.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but
Who
I have
has?
to say, McCann, the catcher.
Oh, yeah, right.
But, you know, Nito's improved. Got a couple
Yes,
of
he
big
has.
hits. He's throwing guys out at second base from his knees. I'm kind of impressed by him. But, I mean, he's still a backup catcher. But he played well. He has played well.
The next
done a great job. Nobody ever talks about Showalter.
we talk about him plenty, Bernie. You know, I mean, he deserves a lot of credit, but you know, he lets the players play for the most part.
Right.
And
It's the players, but they play for him. It seems like wherever he goes, and I don't know why he was out of baseball for as long as he was, the players play for him. They like playing for him.
Because he was burnt out. He was managing some awful Oriole teams for the worst owner in baseball. Okay, so you know, that takes a lot out of you. That's why I was concerned that he was burnt out and, you know, he wouldn't be ready to manage the Mets. I mean, I was very concerned about that. He's sure proven me wrong.
Hey, how easy it is for these guys to play for or manage under Uncle Steve. We don't give him enough credit. What a difference. That's the only thing you can say between the Wilpons, the basic philosophy of we'll get it done, that type of thing, of wanting to be better. They were pretty good and are pretty good. And Stevie is looking to improve immensely before the trade deadline. So I think there's a case for standing pat, but you got to get better. And
well, they're not going to get Ohtani, you know, and they're not going to get Soto, but they certainly can make a move or two. I'm just looking at the Braves. You know, everything worked out for the Braves last year. They made some deals at the deadline, and they all worked out. Everybody performed great, and they were able to do it. I'm just looking at them this year. Is that going to happen again? The odds are against it, is all I'm saying. And the Mets are certainly up to the task of, they're certainly as good, if not better. You know, and I'm thinking, you know, the Braves are not going to do what they did last year, which leaves it wide open for them and one other team in the National League.
The only real weakness is the back end of the bullpen. But you could probably say that for every other team too, you know?
Yes.
So, but if there are some front end guys in the bullpen that are available on teams that are going nowhere, then that should be the play. That should be the play.
Hey, Murray, you mentioned the bullpen. Diaz is unbelievable. What a turnaround. I could remember a year and a half ago going, whoa, what did we do?
Yeah, I saw him shaking hands with Boris on the field during the beginning of the All-Star game.
Yeah, but he wants to stay in New York.
Oh, good.
And that's it's a big plus. We don't talk about him very often, but having him towards the end, because all middle inning guys are like everybody else. Some good some days, bad some days, kind of mediocre, if you would. But Diaz is great. So we have a lot of blessings young men. So let's count them. And let's not be negative like that Tyko guy. Okay.
No, definitely not.
All right.
Did you guys notice Boris didn't get very far away from Soto the entire 3 days? Everywhere Soto went, Boris was practically in his pocket.
Yeah, that's when I saw Diaz with him too, when he was with Soto. Yeah.
Well, Soto's good at not answering questions and blaming it on his language. Do you like playing in New York? I like hitting against the Mets. But would you like to play here? I like to play here every time I come here. I like to play here.
Well, it's going to be interesting, to say the least.
The next 2 weeks are going to tell a lot, because a lot of guys are going to be playing nervous. They don't know if the shoe's going to drop. I'm sure Dom Smith and J.D. Davis, every time their phone rings, they probably jump. So you got to get.
Hey, but Escobar isn't in that category. He's playing some good ball the last couple of weeks.
Oh, Escobar's not going anywhere. I mean, the fans that bitch and complain about him, they were the same ones that bitch and complain about Guillorme. Okay, why is he being played? The guy's hitting 300. Why is he being played?
He's incredibly versatile, and probably the best defensive player on the team. Given his versatility.
Wherever they put him, he makes sparkling plays. Wherever.
Yeah. Yeah, second, short, and third. Mean, you have to have a guy like that. I mean, it's indispensable to have somebody like that.
Yeah. Yep. And Lindor has surprised me. I badmouthed him when he got off to a lousy start, but give him a lot of kudos. His RBIs are right there with Alonso.
Oh, he's clutch. His averages isn't as high as it should be, but he's clutch. There's no question.
But Bernie Rose, don't you know that batting average doesn't matter anymore? It's on base percentage. Okay,
Absolutely.
Come on now, get with the program.
OPB, baby.
Okay? Yeah. Batting average means nothing anymore. 250 is good.
Percentage, and you got to look at his punch, at his got a tremendous amount of power for a shortstop. So,
Yep. So,
we've credited every Met. We've credited every Met. Who are you disappointed in this season as a Met? So with you, Marty.
Dom Smith.
Well,
right.
Dom Smith, but he doesn't. He's not like a regular.
He plays an awful lot. They have him DHing more than you would think for a 218 hitter.
Well, I think they're trying to get him playing first and Alonso DHing more, because you got that left-handed person at first. It's really much better.
Yeah.
He's a good fielder.
Hey, you say that, Mert, because you're a lefty.
Well, no, but I mean,
I don't mean politically.
I understand that, but no, you make that 3-6-3 double play, and it helps to be left-handed. That's all.
Hey, we didn't talk about how nice those Keith ceremonies were, and speaking of left-handed first baseman,
yes.
who made that play, wow. And I've got the TV package on MLB, so I get to watch the Mets, which for me is watching TV is not the same as radio, but I enjoy listening to Keith, especially with Howie not there as much. Getting to hear Keith, he's got a wonderful way about him.
And I like that they added the post-game shows to the MLB package now on the SNY post-game show.
Yes.
That was never on before.
No, it wasn't.
This year it is. It's nice. It's nice. Very nice.
It's about time, because it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I think Bernie and I were talking on one of the other podcasts that you did, Loving Baseball, when we were 12 and Innocent recently. And I'm firming up that book deal. The new cover is being revised daily. And getting some really good response, because people love to talk about how things were when they were 12, and 12 is a good age. Your enthusiasm meets your intellect as a fan, and it's been fun doing. I have about 30 episodes, and David Hubler's going to edit it, and we're going to have another winner. And a winner for me is just getting up and being alive. How about that? For all of us. And I found a piece of wood to knock on for this occasion. You hear me?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Stay alive. Love you. And we'll see how the second half goes. Thank you for listening, everybody. Comfortably Zoned Radio Network, Mets in the Zone, Bernie Rose, Marty Rose, Robert Cole, and me, the weak link, Ralph Tyko. But being a weak link in this setting ain't too bad. Be well. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Have a good night.
All right.
Adios. All right. Take care.
The proceeding has been a Comfortably Zoned network production. You are advised to keep your dreams wet, your humor dry, your children and grandchildren out of military recruiting offices, and off the laps of clerics who wear dresses. Thank you for listening, everyone. Happy trails.